All right, we are back in our kitchen with Raw Chef Jane. It's a fig frenzy here on the show today.
And I'm carefully taking my tweezer fingers and placing the strawberries and the walnuts that I've so very carefully chopped into the
It's a work of
perfect
art,
size pieces. And then I'm putting them there and taking my fresh mint that I have carefully chopped and putting the exact same amount of fresh mint on each single individual fig.
So you don't look through the whole plate and try to find the best one with a little more mint, right?
No, they should be all actually pretty close.
And you have let, of course, as our guests have come out, they've been trying these, you've been talking a little bit about them. Everybody is raving. They are delicious.
They are. They really are. Now, this gives you a lot of different kinds of options, okay? Because we're using a cashew-based cheese. Now, you could use an almond-based cheese. You could use a sunflower-based cheese.
Okay.
You could use a walnut or Brazil. Well, actually, Brazil nut cheese would probably be a little bit better.
Okay.
Anything that's going to make a creamy cheese. Okay, I like cashews because they're usually a little bit more affordable than most other nuts, and they make a great cheese. It's a great texture.
I was just going to say the texture of the cashew. You use them a lot because they're a lot of times with a little water.
Yes. Makes a great texture, okay? And you can put a little garlic in there if you want. You can do anything you want with it, make it flavorful. If you want to put your herbs directly in the cheese, you can do that too. But I like the way this looks by adding a little color from the strawberries, which were really delicious, by the way. I took a little bit of walnut, as you saw very carefully with my little tweezer fingers, and put them on there. And then a little bit of the mint, fresh mint. And I wanted to get a little bit of thyme from my garden, but I didn't have time. I just didn't have time to do that. Otherwise, I would have gotten a little more time.
There's no time for thyme.
I had no time for thyme this morning. So I would have put that on there too, which would be delicious, but it's not necessary. And then, of course, your cask 25, which you saw how thick that is.
Yes. And so a little bit goes a long way.
You only need a tiny taste. You don't want to overpower any of the flavors. You want to be able to taste all of these delicious fresh flavors.
And you know, I think the fig is underrated.
Oh.
They are delicious. Why do we not eat figs more often?
I have no idea. I love...
Matthew Cameron had the first fig he's ever eaten in his whole life.
He did.
And he said, these are wonderful.
He actually had two, I think. Yeah, he did. And you know, it's interesting, like we've done a few things on the show, like opening up a pomegranate to show people how to do that, because people shy away from pomegranates because they don't know what to do with them. And then figs, what do you do with a fig other than just pick it off the tree and eat it? Well, this is something that you can do, which is delicious. And these are fresh. These are not dried.
Okay. And that's a big difference. You just
very big difference.
You just cut off the end, and you said the rest. You
cut off the end, and you saw I made a little bit of a flour, like Chris said, a fig flour, basically. And you don't want to go too far deep down because you want it to stay together to be able to make this beautiful shape. So there you go.
They're
delicious. This is your finished product. It is fantastic.
And they're so good for us. The nutrition, the flavor profiles, everybody gave it a thumbs up, and then everybody was interested that you said you grow them right here.
Yes, we do. We have about 4 or 5 fig trees, 5 fig trees, I was just told. And one of them produces very well. Another smaller one this year produced a little bit. There's one that just produces leaves, which is really pretty, but it doesn't produce any fruit. So as we're going along, we're going to get more figs.
I love it. Well, thank you for this wonderful recipe.
And it's no dairy, okay? So everybody should be able to enjoy this.
All right. Well, more Raw Chef Jane coming up throughout our year in 2025 as she helps us make healthy.
I have a beginner's class coming up on February 22nd if anybody's interested.
And I bet you can find out more information on her website at rawchefjane.com. You can also find her on Facebook and Instagram, full of fresh, healthy ideas.